Welcome aboard, everybody. Thought I'd change it up a little bit and grab all the tryout Thursday games I've done in the past and do a small review on them. First up, we got Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. This, the title screen main theme actually kind of concerned me, mostly because it sounded really childish and I was, worried that it was going to be too childish that I would hate the time of playing it. But not only was it really catchy, but the gameplay was really good. It was so good that I was actually like, how does this thing end? And yes, I do look up spoilers. I don't care to spoil myself, but I won't give any here, of course. And while looking stuff up, I found this. That looks like Zelda, and you can't tell me otherwise. But yeah, really fun, really likable characters, really funny. This is worth your money. Next up is When the Past Was Around. This is one of the few games that I actually sat down with a couple of people to see how they liked it. And one of them I will agree with. This is not really relaxing. Sure, the music is, but it does deal with trauma and dealing with grief. It's a lot to take in. Doesn't mean it's any less good. I suggest if you want to play it, make sure you like puzzles. Third on the list, we got Mr. Driller Drill Land World Tour. Honestly, wasn't really a fan of this. Not really into puzzles, but it is cute. Heard it's a really addictive game, so I say give it a try like I did. And last on the list, we have Arietta of Spirits. This one insulted me. It tried way too hard to get an emotional response, like within the first 5 minutes. It would have been better if they actually tried to start off the gameplay with, a flashback of something so we can actually get an emotional attachment to one of the characters at least. But no, they didn't do that. I would call this really lazy RPG writing. And by the time it finally gets interesting, that's when it's like, oh, by the way, guys, the demo's over. Excuse me? Was that supposed to happen? Was the whole hook of the game relying on that one emotional response you were supposed to have? Well, I'm sorry, but I didn't have it. It's like, shut up! I don't care. I've been waiting to care. I'm sure the rest of the gameplay is just fine, but the demo did it no justice. I'm sorry, but you gotta try harder next time. I also don't understand the significance of her being 12 to 13 years old. You could have the exact same thing happening to you if you were 15 or 16. It would explain why she doesn't really have an emotional response to anything around her. It would make more sense. But no, let's have a preteen legendary hero again. That sounds fun, and a little bit self-inserty. But enough about that, let's analyze each demo. Now what I say tends to make a good game is if it has body, mind, and or soul. Or aka graphics, story, and music. Now if it doesn't have a storyline, I usually go off of gameplay and pacing. Starting us off again with Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. Starting with body, how strong is its graphics? I mean, just look at the opening. Yeah, I say it's one of its strongest points. Not so much story, not so much music, but I don't know, the music also kind of holds it together too. Just some areas of the map will get tiresome eventually, but it's still cute. Next is mind. How good is the writing? The writing's semi there, semi good. I say it's fun for the whole family kind of writing. Not strong nor weak, just right. What about soul? It's pretty good. I mean, every now and then it will grate on your ears, but only because you're in the area for way too long. Bonus, pacing and gameplay. pacing is basically as much as you make it out to be. It's controlled by you because it's a side scroller, so it's all good there. Gameplay is basic but understandable, so it's really good in that department as well. Overall, body gets a 7 out of 10, mind gets a 4 out of 10, and soul gets a 4 out of 10. The only reason why it's so high is because of the opening theme. Just love it. So I'd say altogether, if we're going out of grades, I'd say it deserves a B+. Very worth it. Next up, When the Past Was Around. Body. Whoa. This game has really nice graphics, mostly because everything's like hand-drawn looking and just so good. Mind. This is a show don't tell kind of scenario where you can kind of grasp just from one puzzle to the next of what's actually going on. How about Soul? It's very pretty. I enjoy it. From what I gather so far, there's only one song, but that could just be the demo part. Bonus, gameplay and pacing. Gameplay is your basic point and click adventure as you try to finish up the puzzle. And pacing, if you really don't know how to finish the puzzle, it can be very obnoxious, or at least for me it will. Bonus, the settings have a very... there's a small flaw in them. When I was first fixing up all the sounds and whatnot, for some odd reason, when the door sounds activated, some doors were way louder than others. Don't know why. Not really a flaw, but it can suddenly freak out your ears. My overall thoughts: body gets an 8 out of 10. Mind gets a 6.5 out of 10. And soul gets a 5 out of 10. And the grade I give it is a B. And the only reason why I don't give it a B+ is because I'm still not sold on puzzle games. This one's a maybe, but I still say it's worth it. And next up, we got Mr. Driller Drill End, which I accidentally keep calling it World Tour, but you know, whatever. Body. Very cartoony, but it's so cute and the colors are vibrant. Mind. Now, this is one of those times that there is no storyline, so instead of a bonus, we are focusing on gameplay and pacing. Gameplay. Pretty easy to catch on, but for whatever reason I had a hard time with it, so pacing is all up to you. You can randomly not finish because you're trying to hit a square you're not supposed to, but yeah. Mind. Cute music. Cannot say enough how cute the music is. I don't even know where to start with which one is actually its strongest point. It could be music, could be graphics. I just know the gameplay for me didn't work. Overall, body gets a 6 out of 10, and mind gets a... let's say 3. Wasn't quite impressed, but that could just be me. And soul gets a 4.5 out of 10. Overall, I'd say this is a close C-. I'd still give it a try, mostly because it's cute and colorful. So, yeah. Last but certainly my least favorite is Arietta of Spirits. Let's start with body. This is a basic but really good art for an RPG. I even argue that the graphics are its strongest point. So, next is mind. This is its weakest point. In fact, I would even say it gets a negative point. It relies way too heavily on an emotional attachment that the viewer just simply doesn't have yet. Like, as I've said before, it should have really opened up with a past event so you can actually judge it and get a connection. But again, it's really not there. I'm sure the rest of or at least I'm hoping the rest of the game has it, where the writing is actually good, but so far, just from the demo alone, it has the weakest writing I've seen in quite a while. I don't like to throw around the term your high guardian spicing me, but this is definitely one. It was all like, so hey, you getting emotional yet? How about now? I know, we'll make this happen, and I'm all like, it also was released last year, so the writing has no excuse. It could have been a lot better. They could have at least researched a little more of how to write it. But then again, it is an indie project, so I could just simply be judging it way too quickly. After all, a demo is a demo. But let's hurry up and move on to Soul. The music is, I'm gonna give it a decent thumbs up. It also deals with some ambiance. So yay on that department. So let's move on to bonuses, which is, of course, gameplay and pacing. Gameplay, it's basic, but I say that's also one of its strong points, is that it's super easy to understand, and you can just move along from there. Pacing, on the other hand, it's like drudging your face through mud, back onto pavement, and then back onto mud again. It is horrendous. The wasp fights are just not my favorite at all. Same thing with the wasp queen. Just, I was bored to tears, hoping that it would just hurry up and be done. But anyway, so my overall thoughts. Body gets a, let's call it a 5. It, actually no, let's call it a 6, because the hair animation is simply really cute. I enjoy it. Now, Mind, on the other hand, I'm sorry guys, but I have to give it a 2. It's not engaging whatsoever. Like I said before, it's its weakest point. Now, Soul, I'll give it a 3.5. It's kind of basic music, basic ambiance stuff that you could easily find in a non-copyrighted music area, but it's okay, gets job done, and I still semi-enjoyed it. And the grade I give it is a D-. I honestly was very close to giving it an F, but I'm simply hoping that the actual gameplay and actual full story is more compelling. So here's hoping on that. Not the game for me, but at the end of the day, it's truly your choice whether or not if you want to try this out or not. Anyways, guys, tell me what your thoughts are. I'll be shoving off now. Have fun.